100 Acre Woods, not forest.
Oh, I was going Sherwood Forest, like Robin Hood, not 100 Acre Woods, like
Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh.
Okay.
My bad.
Riley comes in. Angel City on the board.
Corner kick presented by Cedar Sinai. Shifty work into the box. And across, it's in! Oh, it's LaRue! It's a dream return!
Hey everyone, and welcome to Casual FC, an Angel City match preview and footy therapy pod featuring your two favorite podcast certified footy therapists. I'm your host, Angela Morales, with my dad of the year, Mario Salazar.
Oh, nice.
Co-host, man. The guy on the other side of this podcast who is a super dad, has two sick kids, still made it to the home opener, has like the best wife in the whole wide world.
Yes,
I will forever just like hype up Jen. She literally has saved our ass so many times with this podcast. She is our merchandise czar, queen. I don't know. She just kind of.
She actually. I asked her. She prefers Grand Vizier.
Ooh.
She's the merchandise Grand Vizier.
Oh yes, I love this. I love this so much. Yeah, she lets me steal her husband and go run off and get media passes and do silly things. She lets me steal time when time is precious. So thanks, Jen. This is the I Love Jen podcast. She's my favorite.
She will appreciate that. Yes.
Good. All right, everyone. So this is our match preview, second of the year. I'm so freaking pumped. NWSL is back. We're already into chaos. We're already into the shenanigans of the league. It's just great.
Yep.
Like, this was honestly the best kickoff weekend. We'll get to it in a second, but it was effing great.
It was.
Yeah. So, match preview. On Friday, March 21st, we are facing the Portland Thorns in Portland at Providence Park at 7 p.m. It will be streaming on Amazon Prime. I am struggling with this one because I really want to cancel my Prime membership and like be big boycott, but at the same time I'm like, oh, sports, because no, but like women's sports is hard to find, and sometimes it's stupid. But here we are. I will be watching. If you need, I will text live updates, put them in the Discord, whatever we need. But Amazon Prime, it will also be on iHeartRadio with our besties, Isaac and Tracy. There's going to be an Angel City sponsored watch party at Grand Central Market, which bless your hearts if you're going, because this is going to be a commitment. So Grand Central Market is located at 317 South Broadway in downtown LA. Take the metro, get off at Pershing Square. It's way easier. Oh, yeah. You can also go to the last bookstore while you're down there.
Mainly because the parking situation at Grand Central, those parking spaces have not been changed since probably 1930. They're so
the
small.
Size of shoes.
And the aisleway is so tiny that you have to have the car.
It's so stressful.
With the best turning radius to get into any one of those spots. So.
Yeah, take the metro or park in a different lot. Like, just, I don't know. If you're going to go, more power to you. It's starting at 11 because Angel City is going to have a little celebration pop-up shop that opens at 11. You can get your new kit. The party's going to start at 5. And the match is kicking off at 7 p.m. There'll be photo ops, giveaways, all kinds of cool stuff. Every Angel City watch party I have ever been to is just dope. It's so much fun. Everybody's like so pumped. And even if it's not a team sponsored watch party, it's a freaking blast. Wherever, if you're at 33 Taps, if you're at Watch Me, if you're at a local bar and you bring your friends, like whatever, it's just.
If you're at any one of the SGs, might be doing a watch party near you. So
yeah, we post them whenever we see them. So send them our way if you're hosting. We love to celebrate watch parties because they're the best, and it's supporting local businesses.
The main thing I'm trying to think of is, knowing Grand Central, where the heck are they going to be showing this?
I know. I'm trying to figure that out too.
Unless they do it at like Horse Thief, which is the outdoor area, and then they have
Yeah.
Golden Road on the inside. Because Course Eve has a couple of TVs under
That little
their
patio.
But then it's like everybody's going to be crowded around like two little TVs.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see what they do. It's going to be an official thing, and they're doing a pop-up shop, so I don't doubt that they would like maybe bring a big screen, or maybe there is a projector somewhere in the space.
There might
I
be
don't know.
like a private space or something upstairs. That
Maybe. I don't know. If you go, let us know. It sounds like it would be a really great thing. So, yeah. Well, it feels good to be back.
It does. It
This
does.
weekend-
It does.
I honestly did not watch everything, but my partner here did.
I can't
Watched
say everything.
everything.
We missed a game and a half because there were
Okay.
other games on.
A
But-
game and a half out of like the entire weekend.
Yeah.
I did catch up on all the news and read up on what happened, things like that. But
So much shenanigans.
life, whatever, you didn't have time. But it was a crazy weekend. Like, I want to say it felt like one of the best opening weekends
Yeah.
ever,
Yep.
really. Like, there was just shenanigans, there was craziness, there was controversy, there was so much fun and excitement. It feels like the level of excitement from everybody is like up to 11. And
Yeah, and part of it too is that like we went from the end of the season, Orlando ran the table just like we said, beyond. It was perfect, it was wonderful, it was great. Also, caveat, if you see me using my hand a lot, I'm in a steps challenge and I'm cheating. I don't care. But they had the Challenge Cup game against the Spirit last week. Okay, they lost, whatever. It really felt like Orlando treated that as like their last preseason warm-up.
Yeah.
Because to kick off the season with a 6-0 run, like a 6-0 just whomping of the Stars, the Red Stars, like...
So they ended the season breaking records. They start the season setting a new record of 6-0,
Yeah.
6 goals, the most goals scored by a single team on opening day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like. When are you going to get another 6-goal game?
Next season when they do it again.
When they do it
here's
again.
the thing, like they had very little player changeover. They had very little off-season movement. Everybody just re-upped and said, let's run it back. And okay, like
Which is surprising. Usually, and okay, granted, I don't know. I haven't dug into the rules that far, but I know one of the reasons in the MLS that keeps, it's almost the same kind of system, right? It's all about parity. It's all about salary caps. It's a salary cap league, so that's what keeps everybody kind of on an even footing. The reason there aren't like dynasties in MLS is because of those salary caps. And what happens is that when you win as a champion, players have bonuses in their contract for when they reach conference finals and when they reach the finals. All of those bonuses that get paid out affect your following season's.
that's trash.
Yeah. And so that's the reason that in the MLS there will be a massive sell-off from those teams
That's
that win.
so stupid. Genuinely. That's such a dumb concept.
Yeah,
like-
but like
No.
and just to kind of like bring that out, like that's currently right now the Galaxy won, but then they had to sell off everybody they had, and they are now tagged as like having the worst start ever by any champion team.
Wow. That's so detrimental to like morale in a
It
front
is.
office, in
And-
a locker room. Like that's so bad.
But I mean, and so like I'm just trying to think of like, okay, what's different here in the NWSL? I do know that, well, one, they've increased the salary cap. Two, it would really kind of suck if like everybody's pay was like that low, or like even if they did pay bonuses, they were like, we're still under the salary cap.
I know.
I mean, you
which
got-
is probable in a lot of cases. But
they do have a lot of international players that
Yeah.
how they're not going over their international slots. I don't know. Okay, we're getting into the weeds. Either way,
Yes.
it was an amazing showing by them.
It was so great.
Insane.
It was such a fun weekend of soccer. Even I like cleared our schedule. Like we were like, I don't want to do anything. I just want to watch soccer all weekend. There was basketball. We watched the basketball and the soccer. Like it from this weekend until middle of April. Don't ask me about anything but sports, women's sports specifically. Like Unrivaled just ended last night. March Madness kicks off this weekend. Like, bye. My coworkers are like, "Oh, what are you doing this weekend?" I'm like, "I'm going to the museum with one of them and his girlfriend, and then I'm going home and watching basketball." I don't care. Leave me alone. Like, don't talk to me. They're like, "What?"
This is a sacred month. Like, don't.
Like, honestly, like even my little fancy thing looks like a bracket. There's like a big wall behind this. My best friend sent me a video. He's like, "Just make a bracket on the wall."
Yeah.
With blue tape,
Yeah.
and I was like, bet.
Just start moving them up every episode.
Yeah, just move them in. It's fine. But yeah, it was a fantastic weekend of soccer. I think this season is going to be insane.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Yeah. And then among the other things that were shenanigans and chaos award worthy was Casey and Portland's match.
Yeah, so I still don't really know what happened at the beginning of the match. Ball was put in the middle of the field. It was kicked. Ref went toot, started over. Everybody goes, "What?" It was also really windy. So like they would put the ball and it would roll. And then they put the ball and it would roll the other way. And it was just like, what is going on? It was so silly. And then that game very quickly went off the rails. It was really weird. There was a lot of weird vibes in a couple of these games. Some weird vibes.
Yeah. But in other really, we've mentioned this. If you saw our Instagram, you saw it. But we're media now. We got media passes to this game, which was a really great surprise. As in to get that email to say, "Hey guys, you've been approved." To say we weren't crazy ass nervous.
I barely slept. Like I was so stressed that we were going to like do something in our sleep to get the passes revoked. Like, thank you. Big shout out to Angel City Media and the whole media team because you're all great and helpful.
I drank 2 entire water bottles before kickoff. Like just
in the
unconsciously.
Press box, just so nervous.
Yeah. But it was fun. We got some great shots.
The Platinos in the press box were great.
Yeah. Angela got to go to the presser afterwards. Like it was great. So if we ever get to do it again, it'll be even that much better. Like we'll be vets by that and we'll know what to do.
We'll know where to go.
We won't have to keep asking everybody which elevator are we supposed to use.
Yeah.
But it was really fun. So thank you to the ACFC media team for including us in all of this. And
absolutely.
Yeah, it was great. And one last little bit of chaos shenanigans for this week. Our in-stadium graphics, very much first day of school. Someone in our Discord mentioned it as like first day of school jitters type things, but
make sure you delete your old files before the season starts. That's all I'm gonna say. I feel horrible for the rookies that started and did not get their moment. We will make sure that it is redone and re-upped on the 30th at home.
So yeah, because the announcer had the correct list.
Yeah.
The video team did not delete their old files. So, no, I'm not even going to make the excuse that I didn't have enough time to shoot a new one. Like, no, you make the new one.
It was made.
If you weren't in the stadium, or even if you were, but you just didn't quite catch it, when we were doing the player intros, on the video screen, we showed some players that were not playing or not even on the team anymore.
Yeah, it's one who had retired, one who is playing in Canada. Like I'm sorry. I was big mad about it. I'm like, guys, but like I said, they'll make up for it the next home game, and the fans will too. Because
they better. Are they better? Because I mean, that's just one of those things. Like,
yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Okay.
There's not much to say about it, but dang.
Yeah, that really won the Chaos Award for the week, because it kind of sucks to do that at your own home, in your own home. All right.
Oh, also, shout out to a very beautiful Tifo that kind of made me cry. I held it together because I was in the video box and I didn't want to be weird. But shout out to the SGs for a beautiful Tifo.
The largest Tifo that Angel City has ever done. That thing was huge. And it was.
It almost got swept away in the wind. Like
it almost got swept away in the wind. Yet when the fireworks went off and they were singing the national anthem, there was no wind whatsoever.
There was no wind.
And the smoke just stayed in the bowl. Oh. All right. Well, real quick, roundup on the from around the league. We have the Current beating the Thorns that we talked about 3-1. We have Bay FC and the Royals tied with 1-1. The Spirit beat the Dash 2-1. The Pride trounced Chicago 6-0. The Reign and Gotham both drew, and then Louisville and the North Carolina Courage also drew. So with that, what happened in our last match, our first match of the season?
Yeah, so we drew with San Diego 1-1. It was a very interesting first game. Big, nervous, first time on the pitch as a professional, jitters for like half our starters, which, that said, they settled in, and they settled in so well, and they recovered so well. San Diego went up first at the 5-minute mark with like...
That was a wimpy goal.
It was like, oh, that happened? Like, we were sitting there, and another media person from another outlet was like, did they just score? Like, did that just happen? What? Like, we were all just like, did the ball even go in? Because you couldn't really see it from where we were, because there's so many people in front of the goal. But yeah, it was very like, huh? And a lot of that is just our backline needing to settle in, genuinely.
Yeah. It was the type of goal where, like, if that's what the scoreline was, it stayed 1-0.
I've been so mad.
That one, we would have been really mad, and two, that's what you would call like, just that's just an ugly win. Mm-hmm. Like you know, at times we all know 3 points is 3 points. A win is a win. Doesn't matter if it's pretty or ugly.
But wins are ugly sometimes.
Yeah, wins are ugly sometimes, and that one would have been one where it was just like it felt like there was even in the replay. It's like there was no real effort. It just It was a
happy accident, honestly.
But
our
either way,
defense got a little scrambled.
But either way, I mean, at 5 minutes they scored, and it stayed that way for a really long time.
Yeah, and it was interesting because we kind of settled in after that. And in the post game presser, Sarah Gordon talked about it. She goes, "That first 20 minutes, all of us want to forget that." She said everybody on the team was like, "Yeah, no, we're not doing that again." And there was a stoppage for a cramp or somebody went down. And that's really when you saw our entire defense regroup, our offense come together, and everybody just kind of like took a deep breath. Like, okay, we're in it. The scary part's over. The game has started. Now we just have to go with it. Yeah. Halftime, still 1-0 San Diego, 54th minute. And we had chances in the first half. I want to make sure like it wasn't.
It was getting progressively better.
As like stressful and forced as last season was. It was exactly that, progressively better. AT had a chance that she was mad she didn't take. Riley Tiernan had a chance that like I think she got nervous of just like, oh my God, I have the ball. And it didn't work out the right, like there was the build up, the almost there, and then the fall back, and it was like, okay. Yeah. But the
roar of the crowd that just kind of went like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And it wasn't one of those where it's like, oh, and like, okay, well, we're not scoring. Nothing's going to happen. It was like, okay, we're knocking at the door. We're getting closer. And in the second half, AT just did what she does. the goal was a banger, and it was so great. She ran over to the sideline. She said in the post game that she ran over to Casey Fair because during halftime, Casey was just hyping her up the whole time. Of just like, don't worry, you've got this. Like, you know how to do this. Don't trip. Like, very much being that teammate who's like, I know what this feels like as a striker, as somebody who's played at the same level as you have. Like, I understand this. Don't stop thinking about it so much. Just play.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of just play moments where you could tell people started thinking about it too much. And then things would get weird and they'd be like, whoa, back it up.
And was this a Fuller assist? I think this was like,
I don't know.
I think someone, I want to say it was Kennedy Fuller. I could be wrong about this, but whoever got the ball beautifully turned it and just launched it because they saw that she had the room.
She had the step. Yeah.
Yeah. It was one of those plays where like you're thinking that like 3-4 steps ahead because you're not passing it to the player. You're passing it
to where they're going to be,
where they're going to be or where they need to be. And then just all out breakout run. She's quick little Thompson and got there. And it was a beautiful goal. So
yeah, I genuinely think we're going to shake out okay. There's a lot to work on still, but the team knows that. The team is ready to work on that. Sarah Gordon talked about how her and Savvy King as center backs are still trying to figure themselves out as a pairing. She said they'd had like a scrimmage and a half together before the game. So like they're still managing like, okay, who's doing what? How are we doing this? That kind of thing. So yeah, I honestly, I have a question about somebody in the midfield, but we'll just see. And that might just be adjusting from college to professional level. But yeah, I feel okay.
I'm happy. I'm okay. I'm happy with the result. I'm happy with the way it played. It could have been better. Sure, it could always be better, but it wasn't bad. I don't think it was bad.
We recovered after going down a goal in the first 5 minutes of the game. We recovered and we equalized. And
we've always said like there's good ties. There's like really exciting, fun tie games, and then there's like snoozers, and this was not a snoozer. This was
no, not at all.
There was a lot of really good buildup, of really good chances and stuff like that. I will say that when our media passes were on the southwest corner, so we were right by the flag, and we got to like take pictures and like do stuff from there. It was like a photography pass or whatever. In the second half, we were defending on that side, which meant MA was right there. And I was just like,
girl.
I tried. There was so much that I had to do to like not yell out and be professional about like, hey, we got these media passes. We're not here.
Yeah, you have to be a lot more neutral when you are wearing the little media vest thingy.
So there's a rule in the press box for sure that the press box is supposed to stay neutral. You're not supposed to be cheering or yelling from up there. And granted, that is because people that are in the press box, they are doing their job, right?
Yeah.
Like they're not there as fans to watch the game. They're there to do their job, whether it's broadcast radio, whether it's updating sports websites, like whatever it may be.
Yeah. And same thing for the people who are down on the field shooting the game. Like this is work.
This is work. This is where a lot of them will like do what they're allowed to do, and then if they're actually being cut off, they're like, "All right, peace out, I'm out." You know, like you only get paid to do so much. So there's a level of neutrality and professionalism that you have to have there. And there's been a couple times that we were about to like, you know, do the fan like, what the, and then had to go, oh
yeah. And then I was like, Mario, don't forget there's a microphone right on the other side of this wall. But no, it was wonderful. And again, thank you to everybody at Angel City who helped make that happen. And I mean, we applied for it, but they approved it. That's really what matters.
I mean, we applied last year and we didn't get it, so we got approved this year. So yeah, there we go. All right. Well, after this game, as we always do on our Instagram, which is really the only place that, I mean, I guess we can do it on Blue Sky now too, but Instagram, we posted up a little bit of footy therapy prompt and see what people wanted to say. And we also did it on Discord, and Discord does not limit you on what you have to say. Although, there's people like Jeff that like, screw your rules, Instagram. I'm going to write what I want to write.
Send a DM.
So with that, the prompt was, we went down, came back up to get that point. How was your opening day? So we got a couple people coming in. Jordan came in so thrilling, especially in the final 5 minutes. I have a good feeling about this season, and I think we do too.
Yeah.
I think it's just looking up. Myrna came in with just great, with an exclamation point. Of course, missing Sid, and impressed with Alana Kennedy, and then question of why no CP sub.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
I have insight.
Ooh.
From the
Okay.
presser.
And then we got a message from Joanna, and she started following the pod from wherever she got the link or saw us, or however she just recently started following the pod. She messaged us. She was going to her very first NWSL game ever,
And it was ours.
And I don't know if she now lives here or she's from Texas. Either way, very first NWSL game, and it was ours. So happy that she got to be there. She was in the supporter section because she was like messaging us during the game, whatever. Her response was freaking amazing. My first NWSL game ever, and I know that she had a blast because we were messaging back and forth. So, Joanna, so happy you got that experience, and keep coming back. And
Yeah, here's to many more.
And go check out some of the other teams too if you're traveling around. It's always a great time. And then Trenton was the last person on Instagram to come with. But like, where's Waldo, aka CP23? Did you want to speak to?
Yeah, I was gonna mention it a little bit later, but in the presser, Sam Lady, who is our interim head coach, mentioned that she's still in her comeback trajectory. And I say this as like somebody who's come back from serious injury too, like it takes longer than most people think. And depending on the type of environment you're going to be subbed into, sometimes it's not the right one. And that's pretty much what Sam said, is they had agreed upon different scenarios of like, okay, this is when you come in. This is, the game's going this way. This is what we're going to do. Game's going that way. No. And that's kind of how it happened. Yeah. And like, yeah, it sucks because everybody wants to see Kristen Press on opening day. We haven't had a CP opening day. We haven't had her gracing our presence on opening day on the pitch in a long time since that first season, but she'll be there. Like, we
haven't had her starting in a long time, but I mean, that's, if you think about it, really the last season when she did come in, it was only for the last like 10 minutes.
She started the last game.
Oh, she did?
Yeah. But she subbed out at halftime, I think. But still, like, I hope that we could get it to where we're seeing her play for a full half.
Yeah.
And that has to be enough. And I think people really need to start shifting their mindset about Kristen. Like, we might get her for a half, guys. And that's something we need to be very grateful for and very, like, respectful of. Because bodies don't body at 36, 37 years old the way they did at 26.
Yeah. And also, I think as we've been talking about how it was looking towards the end of the game, there was a momentum building, and you don't want to stop that momentum by just being like, let's make the fans happy and put CP in, like.
And it might not necessarily be a good situation for her, and it was also just starting to get chippy, and you don't want to risk people getting hurt because there's some chippiness happening. There were so many cards in that game. Oh my God.
There was, I believe, a record or close to a record.
For the weekend.
For the whole weekend, there was like 26 or 20.
Too many. There's
too
also
many
a red
cards.
Which was insane because that shouldn't have gotten a red card. The call before it that didn't get a card should have had a red card. But that's for a different conversation.
And that was not in our match.
Feel free to DM me on Instagram or the Discord if you want to scream about it too.
All right, so let's go over a couple of Discord messages. Janthony came up with, opening day was great. Feels like all the good parts of the sorry first day back to school. Sublist was unfair.
PHAIR.
They didn't get made with pressing matters in mind, Giselle and King need to talk to Alyssa and MA and Gordon and Allie and learn how to go a full 90 without cramping.
They'll get there. They're also in the point of the season where they're switching nutrition plans. Like, that's just, you have a different hydration.
Look, in the off season, you eat what you get to eat. And then during the...
That's not how that works. Not for professionals.
That's how I work.
Yeah, no. No, and not for collegiate, or for most collegiate athletes anyway. No, like they're in the process of switching to that. So hydration will get changed and updated as needed, because exertion is different in a real game than it is in a scrimmage, no matter how much you prepare.
Yeah.
Sorry, athlete Angela was like, whoa.
Although I think someone in our Discord did also say, like, oh, how about some coconut water?
Yeah.
For hydration.
No, honestly, coconut water is so good. But no, it'll get figured out. And they talked about that too in the presser, like asking about Giselle and Savvy King being like, are they okay? He's like, yeah, they were just cramping. We just have to change, update their hydration plans and get, figure it out. Oops.
Look, I start cramping when I'm cleaning out the garage. So, I mean, it's good on them for doing what they're doing. Katie came in with, I think this is a good start. The ref was a bit of an Uno wild card. Good game, too. I got enough time to go get a drink and a bite before bedtime. It was the stupid 3:50 start time. But it did give us a, Sunday match. I do semi-appreciate the early start times. Although when it gets later into the season, a 4:00 start time on a Sunday, it's just going to suck in the middle of the summer. But we don't have, good thing we don't have too many of these.
It's true.
So that's a good thing that the schedule got fixed. Almost. Decision day, still a thing. Okay. And Ethan, our haiku king. Shaky start, turn back. Low hopes, but climb and surpass. Good first game with the noobs. I now look.
I look.
We were looking forward to these.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for him to respond, and I was like, yes. We also have a haiku bot on the Discord, and his goal was to write them in a way where the haiku bot also recognizes them, because he's like, all right, validated. 90% of the time. And then Jeff, our ever loyal listener who skirts the rules of Instagram and now has access to Discord and can give us a nice long thing.
I know. It was also super nice to meet you.
Yes, it was great meeting you too. It was we got to meet some people during the half and before the game, as we were running around, and it was great. So Jeff, the vibes were good. You could just see so much joy in every fan, from FanFest to the game start. I think everyone in the stadium needed the season just to start. I'll scratch today's performance. Yes. I'll scratch today's performance as game one shenanigans. Felt like our inaugural game with a new coach, roster and play style. Same with the Wave, almost mirroring our turnover this past season. Felt like both teams were not only out for each other, but also how to gel with each other. But I did see progress in the attack and defense as the game went on. And then he went on. Things we need to work on, not a concern, but could be if not fixed. First, finishing chances. Tiernan had a couple. AT is going to pinch herself on the first chance, and Emsley as well. Ball watching instead of player marking. Overcrowding our box, which led to a goal and many more chances for San Diego. Conditioning, especially on the back line. But again, first game, but MA looked absolutely gassed by the end. And King and Giselle couldn't finish the game out. No press was a choice. And last little note, the media team fumble on the player intros was shocking. Game one, we're already yelling, ref, you suck. Rev was a little too card happy. I don't know about other games, but I'm not optimistic on better refereeing.
Don't be.
And finally, the store not being prepared for the onslaught of customized jerseys. Only 2 press machines working. I bought my jersey to be printed about 30 minutes before the game started, and they said it would be ready by the half. come by halftime. They said come back by the end of the game.
Whoa.
Come back after, with the store being open only 30 after the final whistle. It was clear it wasn't going to be ready, along with probably 20 plus orders. I got an IOU because already paid for it, but a big fumble. Loved meeting up and saying hi at the half. Already can't wait for the next weekend. We're back, baby. I added the baby.
Yeah, the store was interesting. They had granted there was an LAFC game the night before, but when we got there, and we got there early, Eva, my mom and I, we got there really early because we were worried about parking, I was stressed about literally everything. I was nervous. It's what happens. We went into the store and they were still putting out merch, and there was maybe 4 racks of merch. And I'm like, there's more than this. What is happening right now? And then there was we all know where I stand politically on things on this podcast. There was whatever the hell they were listening to in the store on the radio or whatever station it was, had an announcement that was so vile towards immigrants and how this administration is going to come for you and find you and hunt you down and all this kind of shit. Yeah. My mom and I were in there and she looked at me and I said, what the hell is happening right now? She literally went and found someone from Angel City and was like, cut this shit out. Whatever this is, no, this isn't what happens here. What is happening? It was such a wild experience. Even some of the employees were like, what is this? It was awful. And
were they on someone's free Spotify where
I have no idea.
Commercials?
Nothing else. I heard nothing else until I heard this, and it was just what?
That's some bull.
Do I know and understand that all these things are happening? Do I hate it? Yes. I don't want this here. Not in the world's game, not at a stadium full of immigrants and queer folks and people from all different places and walks of life, bullshit. No. So I just had to get that off my chest. My mom complained about it. I'm going to do my post-game survey. I never do those because who cares? But absolutely, I will not stand for that. It was awful.
That's
the store was whack, but I got my Tamagotchi and that's what matters. And I got it signed by the creator of Tamagotchi. So shout out to our Rebellion friends for telling me she was there and being completely excited with me as we all got her autograph. We had a couple more comments from Joe in the Discord. Said great vibes. Just about died when Anderson lost the ball and it slowly rolled out. I think everybody did. King looks like she has good instincts but needs mass and game time to level up more, but she should be playing. I absolutely agree. Like Sarah Gordon said, they've played a scrimmage and a half together on the back line. Expect her and Sarah to lock in between now and Friday. And it's going to be a different backline. I'm so excited. And then my bestie Vero, who sits right in front of me, texted me because she texted me a week before the game and said, pick a type of poem. And I'm going to write a poem. I said, ooh, okay. Ooh. So we decided on a limerick. So.
In honor of St. Paddy's Day, I guess?
Yes, I guess. She said, the team missed chances. I'm starting to fret. No press on the pitch. Don't ditch Sam yet. They all need to shoot, not pass, and communicate in mass. Alyssa will win the boot. Want to bet? So we've got poems. We have a array of poets apparently in our little fan base.
I'm liking this.
I know. Get creative. Have fun. We got essays. We've got poetry. We got sass. I'm here for it. So let me take a sip of water. And then we're going to start talking about what's coming up.
Yes. So we're going to be previewing. Now we're at our preview section. We're going to be previewing our match versus the Portland Thorns up in Portland at Providence Park. And, we've got a couple of things we got to talk about for ourselves before we talk about the players to watch. So what are we looking at?
Yeah. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Angel City rebounds after this draw. Like I said, there was so much good to see. and so much to be like, ooh, that was exploited that we should fix right now. So we're looking at fine tuning still. I'm so curious how Portland responds after the Kansas City game because they got worked. Eva and I were watching a game like they're going to score because Kansas City is still a little Swiss cheesy in some ways. But it was not a Becky Sauerbrunn, Megan Klingenberg defense up in Portland at all. It was very much I don't know who half your team is. God bless Sam Coffey. Like, she should not have to carry the whole team, and she kind of is right now. But yeah, I'm really curious to see how they get on and how this game goes, because there's a lot of unknowns between both of the teams. We all know we're dealing with a lot of rookies on the Angel City side, a lot of young players on the Portland side. Portland is going through a huge like personality shift. They have new owners, they have new coaches, they have so many new players, so many retirees. Like Sink's not there, Becky Sauerbrunn's not there, Kling's not there. I'm missing somebody else. I can't think of it, but like so much change in the off season. It's crazy.
So much just veteran leadership. Like,
yeah, like,
so,
but that's no shame.
Oh, Sophia.
Thank you. Yeah.
Wilson.
Sophia Wilson out on maternity
leave. Yeah.
So that's such a big shift. They have plenty of talent. It's not that there's like, we've got like JV level players. It's absolutely not it. It's just really curious to see how they're going to respond, especially because their new head coach was an interim, and then he got named head coach in the middle of the season last year. Rob Gale is going to hopefully lead them the whole season. Ideally, the cool thing I found out about him in prepping for tonight was that he's Zambian born to English parents. Like, his family was living in Zambia. So he's the first Zambian NWSL coach, but he's like an English dude. Like, he's so it's one of those where you're like, what? But no, like I'm curious to see how this game goes. Portland always shows up, especially at home, because their fan base, like our fan base, is amazing. Portland's fan base has been through hell and back for this team. Like, they're so solid. They have the dopest tifos. Like, they are established and they are secure. And they're a fan base and supporter groups that most other teams in the league like look up to in the way they organize, in the way they like handle things at Providence Park, all that. So it'll be really interesting to see the environment up there. But also it's going to be interesting because next season, so next summer, Portland is coming to the WNBA. So I'm curious how the crossover of women's basketball and women's soccer happens, because they're going to share a training facility too, because their ownership group is the same, and I'm really excited about this. So I'm hoping I can do a Portland basketball soccer weekend, because I just love sports.
That would be pretty fun.
So dope.
Yeah.
But no, there's a lot. I could talk about Angel City forever. We did that last week pretty much. So
I mean, if they don't plan like a Sparks Angel City,
they have to. Kelsey Plum is here. I will riot. If she does not do their 3 clap, riot. I know at least 10 different people from different supporter groups, and also my friends and family. We will riot. I will pick it. Like, I will wear a Bring Kelsey to Angel City shirt to a Sparks game.
And we even went back to the simple 3 clap, which,
Oh, God bless Sam Mewis. Sam freaking Mewis knew what she righted the ship. She gave us the true pure 3 clap of the national team, where this was taken from. It was sharp. It was concise. You knew what to do and when to do it. There wasn't 800 steps. Sam Mewis for president. Please clip this. Like, Sam Mewis saved the day. There
was also a woo instead of a So
yeah. I don't feel like Sammy Bananas is gonna she's gonna poo. It's gonna be so good, and I'm here for it.
It was fun. It was a nice refreshing.
It was proper.
Yes. All right, so who do we got to watch out now that we know all of the players that have left, retired, or on maternity leave, that they've lost so much veteran leadership on the team. Who do they got left, and what are we looking at?
Yeah, so a lot. Bella Bixby is coming back from maternity leave, and my biggest question is there a chance that she comes back to win the keeper spot from Macca, from Mackenzie Arnold, or is she just now like the backup in her comeback season, which is totally fine. I also don't know how long Macca's contract is, so that could be dependent on Bella Bixby's future as Portland's keeper, but that's just me stirring the pot because it's fun. There's been a lot of defensive changeover. Like I said, Kelly Hubley's gone, Klinga's gone, Becky's gone. So that back line is a mystery to everyone, including Portland. Caitlin Torpy, who is an Australian national team member, is kind of stepping into that role to lead as a veteran. So she's going to have a good chance to really settle in and become a rock for the team back there. But who knows?
Well, I mean, at least Alana has a national mate.
Mackenzie Arnold is their keeper. So.
Okay, I didn't say that.
There's a few Aussies in the league still.
I know there are, but I mean, you literally wrote Australian players, so I was like, hey.
Yeah. But yeah, Alana will have folks to say hi to when she's in Portland over the weekend. Maybe they'll go get a flat white somewhere. Do you know what those are?
No.
Coffee.
The flat white coffee. Okay.
Yes.
Jesus. I was like, is this an Australian thing I'm supposed to know?
Yes.
No, it's just a flat white coffee. Yes.
But it's an Australian thing you're supposed to know.
It's just the thing. It's just the coffee. I didn't know it was Australian.
Well, the coffee isn't, the drink is. It's just good, regardless. We have Sam Coffey and Jessie Fleming, who are really stepping into leadership roles for Portland. Jessie Fleming plays for the Canadian national team. Sam Coffey, with her beautiful scrunchie and tucked in kit, plays for our national team. She is now the captain in Portland, which I love this. I think she is a fantastic leader. I think she, just from her play, like, knows how to organize her team and knows how to settle them down. She's fantastic. We've seen that in national play altogether, and we're going to see that in a much bigger role this season for her in Portland. So I'm just very curious how all this is going to shake out for them. I think it's going to be kind of a rocky season, but I also don't think it is, because it's Portland and they just do what they do and then they make the playoffs and it makes me mad. But, you know, whatevs. The last person I'm going to talk about is Dana Castellanos. She's coming to Portland from Bay FC. There has been crazy hype around her since she was in college. And they kind of talked about this a little bit on the broadcast this weekend of like, it's not necessarily that she hasn't lived up to it. I don't think she's had the opportunity to in a lot of ways. Everything with Bay FC was weird. I think at least if it were me, given the hype, knowing the player she can be and the player she is, she still has something to prove. Like, there's a little chip on your shoulder, like, even if it's internal, of just like, I don't like the way people are talking about me. Like, I need to fix this. Like, I am who I am. I'm that good.
Yeah.
And she is always going to be a wild card because she is that good. It's just a matter of, is that going to end up translating into the NWSL? Will this style of play benefit her?
There was some weirdness with Bay FC last year.
There's still some weirdness with Bay FC.
There's still some weirdness. I mean, who was our player that went up there, and then it was just Scarlett, and then Scarlett Camberos, and then shit was just so weird in Bay FC that she decided to go back to Mexico, where she was being harassed from the beginning, and one of the reasons she left.
Which is why she came to us, and then she got further away, and then she said, nah, this is bad enough, I'm gonna go back. Like,
I mean,
I don't know if that's why.
All jokes aside, I hope everything was resolved and she's safe in Mexico and everything like that. But weird shit in Bay FC, and with you saying that Dana Castellanos was supposed to have this hype around her but hasn't lived up to it. You know, that's a lot of times it's also just like you might be the right person. You might be the right person, but if the group around you isn't clicking or you're not clicking with them or there's just something.
If there's so much of a heavy cloud over the team and you are miserable, you will not perform.
Yeah.
Psychologically, it breaks you apart. Whether that's at a regular 9-to-5 desk job, on the pitch, on the court, it doesn't matter. If it is such a bad environment, you break after a certain point. And everybody's threshold is different. So I'm hoping that this is a better environment for her, better environment for everybody. And she can play a great game, but not score against us, and plays terribly against us and great against everybody else. Thanks.
This game is not the game to find yourself.
No, not at all.
You know, feel it out one more time, and then find yourself.
Neither is the game when you play us in LA. Like, just forget. Like, I don't know what a soccer ball is. What? Who knows? But yeah, that's
right.
That's my recap on Portland and all the things that are going on there.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've got some bright spots for ourselves to look forward to also.
Yeah, absolutely. So Katie Zellum came in the second half. I wish she had been subbed in a little sooner, but I think it's also just feeling out the vibes and who's working well with who. But her veteran presence on the pitch settled our midfield down and locked them in so well. I can't wait to see how this shifts more as she subs in more or plays more, whatever her role is going to be. I'm very curious. She ended up subbing in for Macy Hodge, who is we talked about this with Casey, like kind of our wild card. Like, we don't know really what to expect, how she's doing. I still kind of feel like that. I hope she ends up kind of coming into her own and adjusting. That adjustment period from college to professional can be really difficult, especially if the style of play is super different, the environment, the training, whatever. There's so many different factors that go into that, and sometimes it's just nerves. It's starting a new job. It's scary.
Playing in front of 20,000 people. I mean,
yeah, it's legit.
it's different than the training facility out in Million Oaks.
Yeah, exactly.
In the 100-acre forest.
Yeah, Sherwood Forest and a Million Oaks and all the things. But no, Katie Zellum's like leadership in how she led the midfield really settled us in the second half, and that was when we scored. You know, like that shift of we scored, we locked down the midfield, our defense locked in, like everything kind of went like clunk, clunk, clunk at the same time to get in line and really push the team forward. So I'm happy that happened when she came in. I would like to see more of that earlier in the game.
Yes.
But we'll get there. We'll get there.
It's game one. It's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mentioned this earlier, but Casey Fair hyped up Alyssa like crazy at the half. And like they asked in the presser, like, you know, how do your teammates help you when you miss that chance that you missed in the first half? And she's like, oh, Casey Fair like sat me down and was like, you're the best person out there. You're so great. You're going to do this. Like, but that's the thing. Like, everybody on the team has a different role. And so I'm really excited to see Alyssa take this, because she was like, oh yeah, I've already replayed that chance like 5 times in my head.
Yeah, she knows what happened.
She knows.
It's not. Yeah, she's
like, I shouldn't have done this. I'm 1v1 with a goalie. I should score. Like, there's no reason I shouldn't. So I'm not stressed. She didn't get lost in the sauce from missing that chance. She looked for others. She very much has matured over the last 2 years, and it's so cool to see.
And I mean, we saw the change also last year, where like she wasn't quite figuring out. You know, we kept saying that she had the yips, and you know, other people think different, but whatever. It was what it was. She wasn't quite performing as the striker, but you know what she did do is she pivoted and she became an amazing assist. Like,
you become a playmaker. You become a playmaker when the plays aren't happening for you, and it unlocks a different.
Yeah, and so now she has both of those in her pocket. She has the striking ability, and she has the ability to find the pockets where other people need to be in, and
yep.
I think this just makes her even better. right?
Yeah,
So
way more dangerous too.
Yep.
Because having somebody like Alyssa who's willing to take the chance and score or pass and get the assist to somebody like Riley Tiernan, I'm excited. Riley Tiernan comes from a soccer family. She had a fantastic showing. Like, it's the first game of the season. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 33.
Which helps.
Yeah. Also, yeah, height helps. But I was surprised to see her starting. But then once I saw her play, I wasn't. I was like, oh, that makes sense. Apparently, she had been showing out at training. She won her spot, essentially. And I think it's fantastic because she comes from a soccer family. Eva was so excited to see her last name come up. She was like, that's super familiar. I didn't know this. Her older sister played for Sky Blue back in the early days of the NWSL. Before there was,
they became Gotham.
Yeah, pre-Gotham, when they were still Sky Blue, when you were getting paid $10. So I'm not going to cry. It's just so cool to see, like, in the same, essentially the same generation of players, because it's under a decade, I would assume, between the two of them. I didn't look it up because that felt weird, but I don't want to be a creep. But, like, if you have, like, a decade, let's say, in between them, 8 to 10 years is probably the age difference if Riley is 20-something coming out of college and her sister was playing almost 10 years ago. You know, there's a good gap between them. But, like, you go from playing on a team that's, like, held together with duct tape and a like, old USB cord that broke, like, holding on for dear life in a league that's holding on for dear life. And then to see your little sister, 2 for 2, dude. To see, like, your little sister come in to play in front of almost 20,000 people in one of the best programs in the league with, like, the highest level of training facilities, like, all this new shit. And you're like, yeah, that's what we did this for. But yeah, progress. It doesn't help that I was listening to, or I was watching Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe's A Touch More podcast episode where they're talking about Diana Taurasi's retirement. I was, like, mega emotional about it. Generational players, man, they're important. But yeah, I'm excited to see Riley Tiernan grow, both as a striker for Angel City and in the league, because, like, there's promise. I have no issue really with the game, especially hearing Alyssa and Sarah Gordon talk about it afterwards. They were both like, yeah, there's stuff we need to tighten up. No shit. It's the first game.
Yeah.
It was very like, yeah, we know.
Yeah. And we've mentioned this before. I mean, in a league where you have playoffs, the first couple games almost don't matter. Like, they're your tune-up games because your main goal is to make it into those slots for the playoffs, right? And you could afford to draw a couple of these first matches. Yeah. Losing could bite you in the ass later on, but, like,
we know nothing about that as Angel City fans. Nothing at all.
But you can afford to tinker around at the beginning, try to find your stride. You know, the first maybe 4 matches or so. If you're still tinkering it, you know, it can, if it proves
You're way
to do
more
you
chill
well
about that than I'm like, they gotta lock it down this weekend. Like,
they do. Where I was going with this is that, like, if they're tinkering and it's like the first, you know, 3-4 matches and they're still kind of figuring out their way, and maybe they lost one, maybe they tie, whatever. If the tinkering works, right? Yeah. That's the thing that we kept saying last year was, like, okay, we haven't seen the same lineup twice. You need to figure out your tinkering or stop tinkering and let them just do what they're doing. But once you figure it out, let it ride. And there was that one match that, like, we were just like, oh, like, holy shit. And then they completely lost it the next one. But it's like, that does, you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like, like, let it, you're going to have to let it ride let it cook for a bit. And I know there's probably other things we're not considering at the moment, injuries, whatever, but you let it cook. And so if they can figure it out and they do some tinkering in the first couple matches and we don't necessarily get results, but we see the progress, then we're like, I'm like, all right, let's go. Because that's going to it's going to mean that we're going to get into the playoffs and not just squeak in.
Yeah.
You know?
I think if we can
towards the end of the season, we're definitely going to be like, if we just squeak in, it'll be great. But right now, we don't want to squeak in.
No, I don't want us to squeak in at all. I want us to be surely in the playoffs, securely in the playoffs, especially because we're starting this season much more gently than last season. I feel like last season, Angel City got shot out of a cannon in our, like, who we faced and how much travel there was and all kinds of stuff. So yeah. I think this season is a lot more generous.
Yeah, we have an away game, then coming back home,
yeah,
then an away game. Like,
and it's West Coast. Like, it's not, we're not going Gotham, LA, Kansas City, LA, Orlando, LA. Like, yeah. But no, we've matched up with Portland a lot because of the Challenge Cup and all that kind of stuff. Similar to San Diego, we've played them roughly 1 bazillion times. So as it stands right now, we have 3 wins, 3 draws, and 4 losses against Portland. So let's make one of those 3s a 4, please. Preferably the win column, with a good good goal differential. Like, set us up, everybody wants to score now. Everybody wants to take those chances and really, like, make something of them. They know how to make them. It's not forced. They talked about it in the post game of just like, we're not forcing things this year. This year it's there. And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
They're just working out the kinks.
Because when you force it,
you're
forcing it, and it's not gelling, right? Mm-hmm. It's a Band-Aid. It's not getting it working. So, good on them.
Absolutely. And then one more thing before we sign off, sending all the good vibes and well wishes and good things to Sid LaRue, who's stepping away from soccer for a little bit to kind of right the ship, get her stuff right, make sure she's taking care of the kids. There's obviously a lot going on in the world, probably for her family. So, yeah, sending so much love to our girl.
Lots of love to her. When I reposted her story, and it's something that Jen and I talk about all the time, is that you think about the pre-flight messages that you get where it's like you have to put your mask on first.
Yeah, especially as parents. Help
anybody else, especially as parents, and that's something that we talk about all the time. Is like, we have to make sure that as crazy as shit gets, you have to put your mask on first to be able to help anybody else. And, I'm glad, if she got to the point where she felt like, hey, this is the right thing to do and I need to take care of what I need to take care of, that's great. If it screws up my fantasy draft, whatever. She also did post and she commented in her own post saying just squashing all the rumors right now, I'm not pregnant.
Yep, that's Sid. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
She said she's going to come back in the most Sid manner, which means the second she steps on the pitch, she's scoring a freaking banger from the other box. Honestly, be afraid.
Yeah.
Be afraid if you're an opposing team when Sid LaRue's back on the pitch.
I'm calling her right now. If she makes it back on the pitch, it's gonna be an MA Sid goal.
Oh, for sure. Savvy MA Sid into space.
Savvy's gonna get the hockey assist.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, she's gonna. It's just gonna be so good. But yeah, all the good things to Sid because she deserves them. So do the kids.
All the good stuff. Yep. All right. Well, that was our preview for our upcoming match on Friday, the 21st against Portland up in Providence Park. It's going to be at 7 p.m. streaming on Amazon Prime, or listen to it on iHeartRadio and listen to Isaac and Tracy, the 2 best radio announcers that we've ever had. And, if you happen to find an alternate streaming and use a VPN and can watch it that way, then good on you. There will be a watch party if you
Yes.
don't want to watch it on Amazon Prime. And it's also going to be at Grand Central, 317 South Broadway. Just look it up on the Angel City website. The start time is listed at 11 a.m. and that's because at 11 a.m. there's going to be a pop-up. They're going to be selling the new LA kits. They're going to be doing giveaways. They're going to be doing all that fun stuff. The actual kind of watch party festivities will start about 5 o'clock with the game starting at 7. So, go have dinner at Grand Central. There's a ton of
so much good
places so much good food. So, yeah. And if you go, tag us in your photos, let us know that you're there, and we'll live vicariously through you. Okay. And to close this out, you guys know it, but if you don't, follow us because you probably like what you hear. Hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening, whether it's on YouTube, on Spotify, Apple, any one of the podcasting apps. Check out casualfc.com if you want to find a different podcasting link. They're all there. Follow us on any one of our socials, Casual FC Pod on Instagram, TikTok, or Threads. We use some more than others. And then at casualfc.com on BLUESKY because we cool like that. Or also come check out our Discord and have fun just talking about sports and talking about the game and talking about women's soccer in general and Angel City specifically. And we have some incredible people with some amazing knowledge on our Discord, and we appreciate every single one of them. And it's just a fun time. Everybody's just having a good time. So yeah, you can find that link in any one of our social link bios. And best ways to support the pod, really, share any one of our content. That's, free 99 version. Just engage with it. It helps other people find it. So comment on one of our posts, share one of our posts, share it as a story, whatever you may do. It lets other people find our stuff. If you do want to help us out monetarily, there is shopping stuff at our merch shop on shop.casualfc.com. And we have 2 new items up there. We have a couple more rolling out when life stops getting so crazy and schedules stop getting so crazy. They will come out, but we do have stuff planned. They're like half sketched out or half done. So
yeah,
they'll
they're
be
going to take a minute.
Yeah. And if you don't necessarily want to do that, but you still want to help us out, you can always help us out with buying us a coffee. And you can do that at buymeacoffee.com/casualfcpod. It's a way you can throw us a buck or two or however many you feel. There's also a new subscription model, which we haven't fully figured out what that really means. So at the moment, it's just like, maybe you want to subscribe for like a buck a month or something like that. I don't know, something small. Anything you guys send over helps us keep on the lights, helps us keep doing what we're doing, helps us have fun with you. And again, one last thing, tell a friend about the pod. It brings us good luck. We bank that good luck. We send it on over. And, honestly, I feel that the good luck we sent over for the first match was spent really well. It was good vibes all around. The stadium had good vibes. The game, I think, had good vibes. We didn't let an early goal knock us down.
Yep.
And we just want to keep seeing more of that. So, tell a friend about the pod. We'll bank that, and we'll send it up to Portland with the team. So with that, thanks for listening, everyone. Bye.
See you soon.